on, be reasonable.
Yeah, come on, Mr. Felger. This is not going to solve anything. Believe me.
But don't go any closer. If he says he's going to swallow the car key, he's going to swallow the car key.
Well, I don't think it's possible to swallow a car key.
After 12 years of her cooking, I can swallow anything.
All right, wait.
Lieutenant,
hold it. What is it? He's got his car key in his mouth, says he's going to swallow it.
He's going to do what? Why does he want to swallow the car key?
So I can't visit my mother, that's why. The dearest woman that ever walked the face of this earth.
Oh.
Mr. Felker, if you swallow that car key, you'll choke. And if you choke, one of these officers is going to be obliged to give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Now, if you would like a man to give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, then by all means swallow that car key. If you would not like it, then please spit it out. And if you do swallow that car key, knowing what'll happen as a result, then we'll have some insight as to the trouble between you and your wife now, won't we?
That's the most filthy, disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life.
Now you happy, dummy?
Where'd you get them? You guys really know how to pick the winners.
Hey, they pick us. We haven't even been out in the street yet.
How do they pick you?
Well, we settled an argument for them about a year ago. I guess they just came back for an encore.
They sure did. Hey, listen, I don't know about you, but I have had enough excitement for one day.
Gillis, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I think I got just the spot for you two.
I can't take this killing pace. Don't forget Riker's theory. Our being here shows reckless drivers the canyons are as well patrolled as the coast.
That preventing accidents is more important than handing out tickets.
He's right. I haven't seen an accident since we got here. Of course, I haven't seen a car since we got here either.
Hey, come on. Don't be so picky.
Ludlow 9, this is dispatch. Do you read? Over.
Is that for us?
I couldn't tell. Reception up here is bad.
Dispatch, this is Ludlow 9. Were you just trying to get us?
Roger, Ludlow 9. See the woman at 1559 Coast Highway. Possible prowler, over.
Mrs. Darren again, huh? Since her husband died and she started hitting that bottle and started hearing things.
Hey, Terry, it's a call. We gotta answer it. Tell him we're rolling.
Dispatch, this is Ludlow 9er. We're rolling. Let's get him.
Hey, what about that prowler call?
Well, it's a lady or the tiger, and the tiger that just went by just might kill somebody.
Call dispatch. Tell them we're checking out.
Dispatch, this is Ludlow 9er. Requesting another unit to handle a possible prowler. Looks like you've had some experience at this, Mr. Winkler.
Yes, I'm pretty familiar with the police procedure.
Well, sir, I'm going to have to write you up. You were going a good 20 miles over the speed limit.
Doesn't that name mean anything to you?
No, sir, it doesn't.
I'm a writer, officer. I write the Policeman Bob books for children, you know. Has a great deal to do for the public image of law enforcement. I'm sure you understand that.
Yes, sir. Is this your current address?
Yes, I live there. I mean, you never know how many kids have been kept on the straight and narrow because of the work that I've done with the Policeman Bob books. I mean, makes your job easier. Ever think of that?
Yes, sir. Sometimes I ask myself, what would Policeman Bob do in a situation like this? And I just do what he'd do. Your driver's license, sir. And we both know what he'd do in a situation like this, don't we? Sign the ticket, please.
Policeman Bob is fiction.
Yeah, but Policeman Terry ain't.
Hey, Michael, what's happening? Hey, I don't know what's happening, but I don't think you guys are gonna like it.
You like what?
Riker's waiting for you. Where you guys been, anyway? What, you mean he's mad about something? Yeah, he's mad. He's been in his office for over an hour. Hasn't spoken except to see if you guys were back yet. He's steamed.
What could we have done? We're up in the canyon and nothing happened except...
Webster, Gillis, in my office. Come in, close the door, and tell me how your tour went.
Do you want me to get the log?
No, don't get the logbook. I don't have time to read the logbook. I want to hear it straight from you two.
Well, nothing spectacular happened. We waited around after you sent us up into the canyon and didn't do much. Nailed one Barney Oldfield.
You didn't mention anything about rolling on a possible prowler call from a Mrs. Louise Darren.
Didn't mention it, Lieutenant, because we didn't roll on it. That's when a Barney Oldfield came by. We called the dispatcher and checked off.
And did you receive a confirmation from the dispatcher that he read your transmission? Because he didn't read your transmission. No unit was sent. And this morning was not just another one of her false alarms. Mrs. Darren awoke to find 4 young men breaking into her house. Probably the same young men who have been rousting that neighborhood for the past 3 months. She screamed, they tried to stop her from screaming, and they robbed her. Mrs. Darren is presently in Memorial Hospital with a possible concussion, extensive cuts and bruises, plus a broken left arm.
We, thought we made the right decision, Lieutenant.
There was no decision to make, Webster. You don't have the right to decide what calls to answer, what citizen is really in trouble. When a citizen calls for help, you go and you help, period. Two of you better take a couple of days off.
Why?
Because a rookie has a 2-year probation period, Gillis. A thing like this could get you booted off the force. You'll increase your chances of staying on the force if you,
By laying low?
That's right, Webster, by laying low. And please spare me the moral outrage. So happens you were wrong, both of you. There's a very good chance I'm not going to be able to keep you around.
You're that sure that there's going to be some trouble?
You can count on it. I can count on it.
I don't know, Lieutenant. I guess sorry is a pretty dumb thing to say, huh?
Yes, it is. Because you're saying it to the wrong person.
I appreciate your apologies, but it's not your fault. I have no one to blame but myself. After all, I know what I'm like on weekends. Lonely by 8, drunk by 10, and hearing things at midnight. I can't blame you for that. You fellas aren't in trouble on account of this, are you?
Well, they didn't exactly put a gold star on our bulletin boards.
No. So the next time you say you're going up the coast to visit a friend, go up the coast and do it, okay?
Oh, that. Up the coast to visit a friend. Well, that message was just for my daughter and son-in-law. They live in San Diego, and if they think I'm alone on weekends, they start feeling guilty, and I start feeling like an old lady, and, well, I just don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I think we do.
Is there anything we can get for you?
Nope, nothing. But thanks for stopping by. I know young men have better things to do than visit old gals in hospitals.
Well, that depends on the old gal. We'll be around again, okay?
You take care. Bye.
Bye.
Dr. Litchfield, call extension 1626.
She don't fit the image, does she?
What image?
Oh, the rich dowager, stuck up, very proper,
Yeah.
very easy to dislike. The way I wish you did.
Yeah, me too. That sure let us off the hook. Like you said, she doesn't fit the image.
How'd it go?
Fine. It's a nice woman.
Will she be in long?
3 days, I guess.
3 days? For a busted arm and all those bruises?
Well, wait a minute. She's not going to be sent home. Her daughter and her son-in-law have arranged to have her placed in a custodial home.
Does she want to go?
Mm-mm.
No.
But they make the payments on the house, and this was the last straw for them. I heard about all those phony phone calls she put into the police. They figured it means she can't take care of herself anymore.
Jill, those phony phone calls were made because she had too much to drink, and she had too much to drink because she was lonely. Now, that's no reason to shuffle anyone off.
Okay, but don't tell me. Tell the daughter and the son-in-law.
We will. Where are they?
I'm afraid they left, but they said they'd be back Friday to help move her.
Stop them.
Huh?
Stop them. Tell them that she can't be released just yet.
Yeah, tell them that she's not up for traveling.
Now, wait a minute. She is. I can't...
Then tell them that you lost a record or something, but please find some way of keeping her here.
Oh, Terry, you can't ask me to...
Jill, that woman would not be in this hospital if it wasn't for us. Our mistake. Now, please, just give us a little time to get it straightened out, okay?
No! Now, look, now. A nurse has got ethics. I can't... Willie, there's a moral obligation here. I can't... Look, hospitals have rules.
You're right. You're right.
And records do get lost from time to time, of course.
Well, it's a human error. It happens every day. Can't
Yeah,
help it.
every large organization has an occasional follower.
Look, if I get caught, you two...
We would be character witnesses. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
How's it going?
How's what going?
You know, just things. Trying to make a little conversation, that's all.
Now, you go right ahead. I'm making a door.
That's how they got in, huh?
Yeah. How they got in and how they left.
Hey, you live in the neighborhood?
I do.
Hey, maybe you can help me out. I was wondering about the bottom out there.
Yeah, what about it?
I'm wondering how deep it is. Thinking of bringing my boat in here.
How big a boat you got?
How big a boat can I get in?
You got anything bigger than a dory? You'll never get her over the reef.
Couldn't get a big boat into the beach, huh?
Isn't that what I just said?
Yeah, I guess that's what you just said. Looks like you accomplished as much as I accomplished.
Yeah. I don't know. The only thing that's consistent about these guys is that they're good. They'll hit 2-3 nights in a row, then lay off for a week or two. Their MO seems to be having no MO.
Possible to trace any of the stuff they took?
Nope. No way. With the exception of one time when they took some camera equipment that had ID numbers on it. Stuff's all fensible.
They hit nothing but beach houses and only when the people were out.
Except once, Mrs. Darren.
And why that once?
I don't know. But, if we don't do something, it's not gonna make much difference. Jill called from the hospital. It seems that Mrs. Darren's daughter and son-in-law have made definite arrangements to have her transferred to some home Saturday morning.
Well, not if I have anything to say about it.
That's just it, isn't it? We don't have anything to say about it. Hello.
Hi.
How are you feeling today?
Good.
Good. Who's winning?
Well, I haven't finished totaling up the score yet. It looks like Mrs. Darren might have a little edge.
Yeah, well, I'd say that 118 to 20 is a little edge, all right. Reading upside down can be a very valuable tool to a police officer.
Who told you that?
You did?
Even the best of us make an occasional mistake. Forgive me, Mrs. Darren. I have to get back to the precinct. I'm going to take you next time. I want to talk to you two. Outside.
Secrets, Lieutenant?
No, Mrs. Darren, but sometimes my language becomes excessively colorful when I talk to Webster and Gillis. Outside.
Well, excuse us.
Over here.
Physical therapist, please report to room 264.
All right, what are you doing here?
Well, the same thing you are, Lieutenant. We came to visit someone who isn't feeling well. Now, do we have to justify that, too?
Yes.
Why?
Because it could look as if you're trying to pressure her into changing a story about the robbery.
Well, all anyone has to do is to ask her whether
People do not always ask, Webb said. They assume. They wonder, they conjure, they conjecture where policemen are involved, and believe me, you two are involved. Stay away from that woman. It could be misunderstood.
Her family is trying to have her put away in some kind of home, Lieutenant. Now, come on, what are we supposed to do? Just turn our backs on her? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying, Gillis, is that people feel bad about that woman, and they are looking for someone to punish. What I am trying to do, to the best of my ability, is to make sure that someone is not you. Now, don't fight me on this. I'm trying to help you. All right.
Stay away from the precinct.
Yeah.
Stay away from Mrs. Darren.
Mm-hmm.
You get the feeling we're not too popular around here?
Looks like we can start phoning it in.
Yeah. Just like Mrs. Darren did.
What are you talking about?
The night she was robbed. The only people she told she was going out was her daughter and son-in-law. And they live out of town. So she had to call them. I lay you 10 to 1, her phone's tapped.
No tap here.
I found something! Come on down!
Okay. Now, we know that they only hit houses on the beach side of the highway, right? Now, we also know that the roadblocks have come up with absolutely nothing. Right. Okay. You ready for it? There it is. Right there.
What is?
The way to predict when those guys are going to hit next. The tide. Okay.
September 10th, 5:15 a.m.
Low tide.
3 a.m.
Low tide.
17th, 4:39 a.m.
Low tide.
24th, 2:12 a.m.
24th. Oh, that was high tide.
Maybe you got something because there was no burglary that night. So tell me.
Here it is. ATV. All-terrain vehicle. Now, suppose that they came down the beach in one of those. Or something like that. They go in from the beach side, take what they want, then back down the beach again. No roadblocks, and the incoming tide wipes out their tracks.
Yeah, but how do these guys know who's in and who's out?
Well, maybe they tap the phones from inside the house.
Okay, fine. But, we're on the instructions to keep away from Mrs. Darren.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can ask permission to check out her house. That means the department will have to set it up. That means talking to Riker. And that don't sound like fun to me.
Hey, who said anything about us doing the talking? After all, what are friends for?
All right, tell me the rest of it.
Well, I thought maybe we could take a look at the phones in the house and see if that's possibly how they're getting their information.
All right, it's worth a shot. Don't call Mrs. Darren, though. Find out if there's a housekeeper first. Permission from her should get us on the premises, then we won't have to bother Mrs. Darren.
Won't that look as if we're going behind her back?
No, Officer Danko, it will not. In 2 days, that woman is going to be moved into a custodial home. The one thing she does not need is any more hassle from us.
Well, Lieutenant, I don't think that's...
Now, look, I've already had to put Webster and Gillis on a shelf because of this thing. I don't like that. An old lady is being taken out of a place she wants to stay in, and I don't like that either. And the one thing I like the least is every time I say something, I get arguments in return. Now, look here, you're going to do this thing my way, or it's not going to be done. You understand that?
Yes, sir. Do you understand that's pencil shavings you're putting on your hamburger?
Just leave me, Danko. Quietly.
You bought it?
All the way.
All right.
I'm call Mrs. Darren's housekeeper and set up the appointment.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
You don't suppose I spoke too soon, do you?
Danko, I have a report here from someone who maintains. And one of our officers has been moonlighting as a telephone lineman. Any of you know anything about this?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's hard to blame whoever it is, though, Lieutenant. The pay ain't too great around here, you know.
No, Webster, it's not at all hard to blame whoever it is. It's so easy to blame whoever it is, I hope I never find out who it is.
Me too, Lieutenant.
I better make that call before Riker changes his mind or loses it altogether. Yeah, is this the Darren residence? It's on an answering service. Yeah, I'd like to leave a message for Mrs. Darren's housekeeper. My name's Danko, Mike Danko. Oh, just a second, please.
Ask her if you can leave a message for these people, too.
Gotcha. Miss. Yeah, I was wondering, would it be possible to leave a message for George Detweller? Mr. and Mrs. Leeds? General and Mrs. Ryan? I see. No, that's okay. I tell you what, I'll call back later, see if I can catch him at home. No message, thank you. I think we just got the message. All the people who are involved in the burglaries have the same answering service.
Look, you are not going to keep my mother-in-law here against her will, and that is final.
Mr. Kendall, hospitals have rules. We can't dismiss your mother-in-law until all the tests.
What tests? The woman has a broken arm. What kind of a test do you have to run when someone has a broken arm,
Well,
for Pete's sake?
there might be side effects.
I never heard of side effects to a broken arm.
Well, that's because we run tests to prevent them.
All right, how long will the tests take?
A day, maybe 2.
I bet this is something the cops cooked up. Just so they could keep her from talking to the press about those 2 yo-yos who didn't respond to her call.
Mr. Kendall, I think you ought to know that my husband is a police officer.
Really? Now, let me tell you something, lady. As far as I'm concerned, the only reason any guy'd want to be a cop is because he's not very sure of his own masculinity.
Mr. Kendall, I disagree with what you say. But I'll defend to the death your right to say it. However, I will also box your ears if you persist in saying it to me. Do you know what I mean?
What's all this?
Pawn shop records, Lieutenant, hoping that some of the stuff might turn up here.
Television sets, home appliances, that stuff is tough to trace and easy defense, you know.
We're looking for camera equipment. The rest of the stuff's shown up. Camera equipment hasn't.
You guys got a notion?
Sort of.
Well, are you going to tell me about it?
Too soon.
All right, don't go into business on your own. You figure out what you want to figure out. When it comes to doing something, you check with me first. You follow?
We're hip, Lieutenant.
Don't talk like that, Danko. Policemen don't talk like that.
Well, isn't that a little bit outdated, Lieutenant?
Danko, you can be as hip and as groovy and as right on as you want to be on your own time. When you're here, you're in a Ware Square, my friend, and don't ever forget it. Where's Gillis? I thought he was helping you with this.
Well, he's, doing his thing, and we're doing ours, Lieutenant.
Excuse me, miss. Do you work here?
Yeah, I do. Why?
Well, my name is Gillis. I'm a police officer, and if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
You're putting me on.
No, I'm not. I really am a police officer.
I mean, I've heard a lot of them, but that's really the loser of all times. I mean, can't you use a little imagination?
I'm not sure that I understand what you mean.
I mean, in the first place, that cop thing is going to put anybody on. I mean, who wants to go out and have a cup of coffee with a cop?
Well, I really hadn't planned on asking you for a cup of coffee.
Well, I mean, like, if you were a photographer and you thought that I'd make a dynamite centerfold, then we got something going. Or like, if you were a director and you were making a flick and you wanted some real people, I mean, not just actors, then we got something going, too. I mean, that's how you sort of get some action going. But that cop thing, man, that's really a downer. I mean, you just gotta do better than that.
Okay. How about this? How's this sound? You are a very beautiful woman, and I would really like to spend some time with you.
Now, that's using some imagination.
Hi. Hey, here he is right now. Terry, this is Jerry Spencer.
Hello, Jerry Spencer.
Hi, Terry.
Jerry works at that answering service down by the point.
Answering service, huh?
That's got to be very interesting work.
Oh, come on. I mean, all I do is take messages and answer the telephone. I mean, Willie here, he makes it all sound so glamorous, but it's really just nothing.
Jerry, when you do it, it is. You're a very fascinating person.
Well, listen, you're both making me blush. I think I'll go to the ladies' room.
How do you do it?
Believe me, Terry, she did most of the doing.
Yeah. Well, you find out anything that means anything?
Well, half and half.
Also,
it looks like all the robbery victims are subscribers to that answering service, so that is how they're getting their information. But I cannot figure out who is leaking it.
how many employees?
Technically none. Her mom and dad own the place. They have for 15 years. They run it with Jerry and Jerry's brother.
How about the brother? Is he into drugs or anything?
Now, that is going to come as a big shock to the Monsignor. Her brother starts next semester at Holy Cross Seminary.
Oh. Well, let's start from the top and see what we have.
Okay.
What's the procedure when someone's going to be away all night?
There is a big bulletin board in the back room. If somebody calls in saying they're not going to be home, they put a red tag on the name, along with the number where the person can be reached.
Who sees the bulletin board?
I told you, it's in the back room.
How about a window?
Yeah, but you would need very powerful binoculars to be able to read that printing. Terry, it is 30 feet to the window, and that printing is tiny.
Oh, no, Willie. Not binoculars. A camera with a telephoto lens. Well, we figure that's why they hit the photography shop first, and why none of the equipment is turned up. With that lens and the enlarger, all they have to do is wait out back for about 10 seconds, and by the end of the day, they got a blow up of the board, and they know when and where to hit.
What do you want me to do?
There are at least 3 houses that we can assume will be vacant on Saturday night.
Saturday special?
It's the first low tide between now and then. Now, low tide is the M.O.
All we want you to do is to stake out the empty houses.
Stakeouts, MOs. You two guys have been watching those alphabet movies again, haven't you? APBs, 10-4, Roger Wilco. Maybe we can fly in a PBY and I can get them with my GUN. No stakeouts.
Okay, Lieutenant.
Now listen, you two, I don't have enough manpower to tie up a number of cars all night long, and impossible. You two don't like that? I don't like it. That's it. That's the word.
You would have 1 more car if you put us back on the street.
All right. You can start in on the mid-watch, 12 to 8. I'll give you that much.
Why, is it deductible?
No, because this may be our last shot at this, Webster, so I hope you two know what you're talking about. Because these birds aren't going to keep this up forever. We don't nail them now, we may very well never nail them.
Miss Darren? Oh, hello. What you doing in here?
Yeah, I'm enjoying my last night of freedom. Bet you think I'm overly dramatic, don't you?
No, but... Well, you're not exactly being sent to the penitentiary, you know.
But I am being sent. You know, like a package or a letter. That's what people think of you when you get older. They think of you as kind of a package that can be transferred from place to place without even asking you.
You know, I'm not one of your son-in-law's biggest fans. But I guess it's true that since the robbery, there's really not all that much for you to go back to at your house.
There are 30 years of yesterdays in that house. That's a lot. everything when you get older.
You ought to get back to your room.
Oh, please don't make me go. I bet you don't know why I'm here. Well, it occurred to me that this just might be the last night of my life that I could get up in the middle of the night without asking anyone's permission. Please don't make me ask your permission. Please.
You know, I have a break coming up. How about I get us both a cup of coffee?
Dispatch, this is Ludlow 9.
Go ahead, Ludlow 9.
Nothing, just thought maybe our radio had gone out. Only an hour and a half left, hadn't heard from you.
Well, it's nice to be missed, Gillis, but I don't have a thing to tell you.
Ludlow 9 out. Well, the later it gets, the less likely they are to do anything. Hey, look.
Let me help you, sir. Mr. Winkler.
Officer, when do you sleep?
How are you this morning, Mr. Winkler?
You know the officer, Arnold?
Yes, we met at the police academy. This is my wife. And my 2 children, officer. We're gonna go fishing.
Ah, good.
Terry, forget it. We gotta go.
What?
Coast Guard helicopter spotted oversized tire tracks headed up the beach. Riker says to roll on it.
Sure, but where are they when you really need them?
They've been by here once.
Twice?
Yeah. Dry wash. Is there any way we can take this thing in there after him?
No, it gets worse the further in you go. If the car bogs down, we're dead.
Hey, if we go fast enough, it won't bog down.
But it's a car, not a tank. Chances are 10 to 1 we'd have to hike on out of there.
1 chance in 10 is 1 chance more than we got now. Come on, let's go. Dispatch, this is Ludlow 9. We're half mile east of Torrance Canyon, heading north of Coast Highway. We're in pursuit of the ATV. 10-4.
That doesn't make sense. Why would you pursue on foot a vehicle and do 40 miles an hour off the highway?
Well, they didn't say anything about foot pursuit, Lieutenant.
Danko, there are no roads north of the Coast Highway. Look here for yourself. Look.
Yeah, well, you're right about that, Lieutenant. There aren't any roads.
They would do that, wouldn't they? They really would.
Police, not a move. Freeze!
All right, back it up. Good stuff. All right, back up. Come on. Back up. Back up. Move on out of that truck. Keep your hands where I can see you. Come on, move. Hands on the truck. Feet back and spread them. Spread.
Dispatch is Ludlow 9.
Go ahead, Ludlow 9.
Request units meet us at Mountain Road and Miller Creek.
Gillis, what units?
Well, we'll need a paddy wagon and a tow truck. A big tow truck, Lieutenant.
A what?
Ludlow 9 out.
We certainly got a beautiful day to head back to the beach.
I can't tell you how I'm looking forward to that, especially with all my belongings back in the house.
There was one thing that we failed to recover.
What's that?
Liquor cabinet.
I won't be needing that anymore. That's part of the deal I made with my son-in-law.
Oh, bottom line. I know it's hard with that cast. Rules are rules.
And, Jill, you never break any rules, do you?
Oh, absolutely not, no.
You know, there was one thing that's really bothering me.
What's that?
What if I slip back? What if one of those Saturday nights roll around and I start feeling lonely? How could I prevent that?
Well, if you really feel the need, may I suggest that you, call this number?
What is it, a helpline or a clinic or something?
No, it's, the unlisted number for certain lieutenant we know. Really great gin player. Really great.
Oh, yes.